you. Okay, everybody, let's welcome Ripper GC to LIV Golf Adelaide 2025, the defending champions. We are joined today by our captain, Cameron Smith, Marc Leishman, Lucas Herbert, and Matt Jones, our all-Aussie Ripper team. Welcome back, guys. So we are here at our biggest and best event of the year. We spoke with Brooks here yesterday, and he said that he could confidently say that this was every player on LIV's favorite stop of the entire year. How much pride do you guys have in hearing that statement, and what makes this the best stop of the year? I'll start with you, Leish.
Well, obviously, we're a little biased. Being from Australia, playing in front of home fans is massive. But, yeah, like Brooks said yesterday, all the players love it. I mean, playing in front of the Australian people on a golf course like it is, in the condition it is, the whole city embraces us coming to Adelaide, which I love. You know, it's not just the buzz around the golf course, but, you know, you go out for dinner and there's buzz in the whole city. So I think that has a lot to do with it. There's not too many cities in the world or golf tournaments in the world that have that, and this is certainly probably one of a handful. Yeah, defending. We're just excited to be here.
Cam, does it give you a sense of pride knowing that all the other 50 players out here think that this is the best place to be on the entire LIV stop?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is our home event, you know, and to be here and have the support of the local fans and like Leish said, not only the fans but the community is massive for us. So yeah, a bit of pride in the heart this week, and you know, hopefully we can bring back another team win for our loyal fans.
Lucas, what makes LIV Adelaide so special from a player's perspective?
I think, like Leish alluded to, just the way the players are treated. You know, from the minute we showed up and walked off the plane on Sunday night, it's felt like every single person here has been super excited to have us. It feels like a week that everyone in Adelaide really looks forward to. The golf course, I don't think you can make the Grange Golf Club look any better than it does right now. I think the greens are phenomenal, the fringes, the fairways, the rough, tee boxes, just everything looks and plays phenomenally. You know, the food's been amazing. The events we've had around it have been amazing. I just don't know how you make this any better. It's a phenomenally run event. So it's no surprise that everyone absolutely loves being here, and it's their favourite stop of the year.
Jonesy, we continue to break records year on year with attendance. We are expecting over 100,000 fans to come out this week. What is it about the LIV Golf product that fans love so much, especially, and particularly Aussie fans?
Yeah, I think there's so much more than golf that goes on in the LIV event. You have so many fan zones, you have kid zones, you have so much entertainment for everyone that turns up here. So yes, they get to come and watch amazing golfers, amazing players, but there's so many other things they can get to do and enjoy. Watch it on TV while the kids play in the fan zone, go to the merchandise tent, and it's over such a short period of time. It's 5 hours of golf, four hours of golf in between 4 and 5, and doesn't ruin everyone's day by coming out here for 4 or 5 hours. They can come and watch golf and have a lot of fun, drink some beer, and it's it's great for everyone.
Cam, does 100,000 fans coming out this week, is that a testament to what the fans want?
Yeah, I think this is our bar. I really do. As a league, I think you know, we have two of the best DJs in the world playing at our event, which is pretty crazy. I'm biased because I'm massive fans of both of them, but it's cool that like Jonesy said, you can go and watch some golf, have some fun around the golf course. The watering hole is unreal. Hopefully there's another hole in one there this year, and hopefully it's one of us. That'd be epic. But and then after the round as well, yeah, the acts, it's incredible. It's awesome to be a part of.
I'm going to take you guys back on a little trip down memory lane to last year. As I mentioned, you guys, the defending champion, after that epic playoff with Stinger GC, our very first team playoff. You guys took it home with the fans surrounding you. It was an indescribable moment. Can you guys just reflect back a year later, kind of having been out of the madness of it, and what do you guys remember the most from it? I'll start with you, Jonesy.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a blur. I actually putted in for par on my last hole, which was number 2, and I honestly thought we'd won. I had no idea what had happened in the few previous holes before that. So walked off, and I was actually a little bit of shock that we were in a playoff. But I mean, couldn't have picked 2 better guys to send out in a playoff. And just to see those fans down 18 with the guys trying to get through those fans, we were lucky enough to stand behind the green and watch them. And to get through that first hole was, I'd say, lucky. It was. The guys made 2 great par putts, and we were lucky that they missed a couple of putts. But after that happened, I was pretty confident that these 2 would get it done, and they did, and we were very lucky for that.
Gladiator, what is your favorite memory from that moment?
Yeah, it was a whole range of emotions there in that playoff. It was just incredible seeing how many people were around that 18th green. They were hanging out of trees and hanging off the side of the scoreboard, and basically anywhere they could get a vantage point to watch. And yeah, it was pretty incredible. I mean, my kind of memory was talking to Leish, after he hit his great shot in there in the second playoff hole, and he was like, it was the exact same yardage as my backyard. So it was one of those meant to be moments. But yeah, it was super special. And then getting up on the stage with the trophy presentation, I couldn't see the back of the crowd. It kind of blew my mind that there was that many people, in one space at one time. It was like watching those old school music festivals, with Metallica playing for 5 million people. So it felt like we're like, geez, what have we become? So yeah, a lot of cool memories.
Leish, Cam, you guys had the weight of the world on your shoulders to get it in last year. Take us back.
Yeah, obviously it was a pretty special moment, and for all of us, me and Cam had a little different perspective of it than the boys did here. I remember the cart ride back to the tee after the first playoff hole, and talking to Cam and just saying, it was pretty cool. It was just driving through the crowds. I don't know. There's so many good memories. I forgot about the trophies. Well, I know there was a trophy ceremony, obviously, but all the people it was just crazy how many there was. I remember walking to the golf carts to get to the trophy ceremony, and just it felt like it was 500 people deep on both sides and people screaming at us. And then you got the golf memories, obviously. So, yeah, an amazing week, but particularly that hour was pretty special and something I'll never forget.
Cam, you were saying the other day that your heart was beating out of your chest standing on that tee for the playoff. Take us back to that very last hole that you guys played to win it.
Yeah, I feel like I've been in a lot of stressful situations throughout my golf career, but nothing has felt like that before, because I feel like we were playing for all of Australia. They all wanted us to win, and it would have been not upsetting, but I guess it kind of would have been upsetting if we had lost. Given that we were, so far ahead in that final round, and then coming down to a playoff, the biggest thing I remember was just the relief once the putt went in that we won. I was so relieved. It felt like I didn't breathe there for 30 minutes. Could barely get a word out, and could barely think. And then, the relief of finally getting the job done was quite special. And then, obviously the ceremony at the end was epic.
Is there any extra pressure this year since you guys are coming back as the defending champs?
I feel like we've had pressure on us in the past. We've dealt with it pretty good, and to be honest, all we've tried to do the last 4 or 5 weeks is really just prepare as good as we can, and get in and get our work done and tick a lot of boxes, and get here on Friday and just let it all go. We know we're going to have the support of the home crowd. We love the golf course. I think this is the best I've ever seen it. Hopefully it gets firmer and faster, and like I said, we can all just free up, and we know we've done the work, so why not 2 in a row?
That was my next question for you guys. Obviously, we're playing at a different time of year this year. How is the course playing, and what do you think that winning number is on Sunday? Lucas?
Definitely firmer and faster than it has done in years gone by. I think maybe even around the greens a little less grainy for chipping, which I love that. And I'd say these boys would be the same. And look, I think it plays into our strengths as well. We've grown up playing this kind of golf. You know, we love golf courses where you got to pick a land number that's not the flag number. So it's definitely going to suit us, I think. If the wind stays up like it has done today, I think the winning score is going to be a little worse than it was last year. But I think that's good. I think the Grange might show its teeth this year a little bit, and show us why Australian golf is so well regarded around the world.
Last one from me. Music is the DNA of LIV Golf. We have two, you mentioned it earlier, major international DJs coming this year. Obviously, Fisher, greatest show on earth, returning for the third year in a row, and we've added Dom Dalla. How important are these international music acts to the overall experience at LIV Golf, and can we expect you guys to be on the stage doing shoeies again this year? Leish?
I don't think Leish has been to the... Have you been to the Fisher concert?
Yeah, I went to Fisher last year. I'm probably old enough to still call them disc jockeys, not DJs.
Cam, I'll let you take it then.
No, it is amazing, and like I mentioned before, to have two of the best DJs in the world come to our event and entertain is pretty cool. I actually just met Dom today. He caddied for me in the Pro-Am. He's a great guy, and I've listened to his music for a while now, so I can't wait for tomorrow night. I don't know if a shoey is in order during the tournament, but we'll see how it goes.
Sunday night Fisher for sure, though, right?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll open it up to media. If you guys raise your hands, we'll bring a mic to you.
Hi guys, just one question. Obviously we love playing here in Adelaide and at the Grange, but is there any other courses in Adelaide that you guys would be interested in playing in for LIVs coming up in the next few years?
I think this is a pretty good home for LIV Adelaide. There's obviously a lot of great courses here. You got Kooyonga, Royal Adelaide, Glenelg would all be very worthy venues for it. We don't have time to play them obviously this week or anything, but I think they'd be all very worthy venues. But I can't speak for all the boys, but I can speak for myself and say that I think this is a pretty good home for LIV Adelaide.
Okay, I think AAP over there. Yes.
Cheers. Thanks. Cam, unification of the tours seems to be the buzzword of the week, with Adam Scott meeting with President Trump and whatnot. Are you across that? Do you spend much time thinking about that, or...?
No.
Thanks for being so. And can I also ask, just it's the team format and Ripper and the development and how it's been embraced in Australia, has that surprised you, and where do you hope Ripper GC will be, I guess, as a brand in 3, 4, 5 years?
I honestly think that's the amazing thing about LIV and the team stuff, is we really don't know where it's going to go. If you had told me 3 years ago that we'd be where we are today, I would have said no. Honestly, I think we've far exceeded all of our expectations, not only with venues, with the league, even within the team. The players continually get better. We're just making so many great strides, and I can't wait to see where this goes in the future. Where it goes, who knows? I think we all have a dream, but I think we'll be there as quicker than later. Who knows? We just keep growing the brand. We keep playing really good golf. Last year I think we maybe had 1 staff, and now we've got probably 5 or 6. So everything just keeps growing. There's definitely a feeling of exponential growth, not only within the team but within the league. It seems like every week there's something different going on, something new, something better. And it's been awesome to be a part of.
Russell?
Cam to start with, but all you guys, you've already talked about the course. obviously you came home in December to Melbourne and didn't get hard and fast. I mean, does that give you a little bit more buzz when you get here and it is exactly how you want it to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the time of year probably helps a little bit down here. I think the last couple of years you could probably lean on weather and trying to get it through summer. This place is in such good shape. I mean, this is what we want. This is probably what the rest of the players want. But this is so unique to Australia, this style of golf, you know, having to hit shots that you don't hit around the world. This is what we want when we come home. It's perfect.
Other guys, Leish, Herbie, Jonesy?
Yeah, I think having a firm golf course is pretty important for Australian. You know, that's how they're designed to have runoffs around the greens and have decisions to make around the greens. You know, there's shots out there, if it's not lying great, that you can't actually get a wedge under it, and you've got to pick a different shot, whether it's a bump and run or a putt or something else. So I think that's pretty unique to Australia. Looks like the weather's going to lend itself to it firming up. We just played the Pro-Am out there then, and the greens are starting to get a little bit shiny and Australian. So it's set up great, and I know that it's probably more exciting to watch as a spectator as well when people don't miss a green and just grab a lob wedge. It's I keep talking about around the greens, but I feel like that's where Australia really has that unique factor.
And just on that then, obviously you would have heard about the shift in the Australian Open plans, moving away from the multi-gender format. Cam, you were obviously pretty vocal. Can I get your thoughts on that? And Jonesy, would that mean now you might come back this year?
Yeah, I mean, to touch on what you just said before, I think this is probably the gold standard for how we should present a golf course for an international event in Australia. I know Sutho's in the room at the back somewhere, and this is what you should be looking at for an Australian Open. And I think if you presented a golf course like this year in, year out, you would get some very high quality players from around the world, very eager to come out and play. Like Cam said, the weather was a factor the last couple of years. It's obviously dumped some rain on the course, which hasn't made it easy, but I think we could have done a better job to set it up to find the best players in the men's field a little better than we did. We obviously had a great winner in Riggs, but I don't want to take anything away from him, but we would have loved to have seen an Australian Open venue play a little differently from it was. And I think we're a little handcuffed as well with having the women play with us. I think the ideal course set up for them and the ideal course set up for us is a little different, and I think it showcases their skills differently. I don't think you should set up the courses the same way, because it's not fair to either gender, and their skill sets don't get showcased the right way when you do that. So I think it's a great move that we're now splitting the Australian Opens. We're giving much more attention to the girls and much more attention to the guys if we're going to have separate weeks to be able to showcase our great players. It's always a scheduling issue for one of the genders. It's either tough for the men or tough for the women to get back and play. So I do think splitting them up is ultimately, it's going to be a great decision longer term for the Australian Open, and I think the event's going to really grow off the back of that.
I mean, I don't disagree with anything Herbie just said, to be honest. I feel like the biggest thing has been course setup, and we just haven't been able to get there, and I've asked a lot of questions and haven't got many answers. So I mean, this, like he said, this is the gold standard this week. This is what we want when we come down to Australia. We get to play we have some amazing golf courses around, particularly in Melbourne on the Sandbelt. And we want them to play how they're designed and how they're meant to be, and have all those shots that you don't really want to have, but they're fun. You have to make decisions on the fairway. You have to use slopes. You really have to use your mind. And I feel like that's been the missing ingredient the last few years.
Mike?
So we've got two Americans have won the individual titles here. Obviously, you guys would like to sweep both trophies on Sunday, but is this one of the instances where it's actually more satisfying to win as a team? maybe more than an individual, given your roots here?
I think it's. I think individually, of course, it would be pretty special for any of us to win. The field's just so good and deep every week out here that it's tough to win. And we're playing against top players every single week. I think we would all love to win individually, but it's also fun to be able to celebrate together when you win as a team. That's something really unique to LIV Golf, in that we have the team format, and you leave the golf course if you happen to win as happy as three other blokes. So it makes for some pretty good celebrations, and hopefully we get to do that again here in the pretty near future.
Cam?
Yeah, I mean, last year I think we all played solid last year. I think Jonesy finished 9th or 8th or something, and then all of us were kind of tied for 12th, or we all just played solid, and it didn't really feel like a week where we were going to be in a playoff to win something so meaningful. And if we had it was so fun to do that, and if we could replicate that again this week, I would 100% take it over an individual. That was just so much fun to be in front of that home crowd, not only screaming your name, but chanting Ripper and you little Ripper, whatever else you get around the course. It was epic. So it's amazing how the crowd changed. On that last day for me, I was in the last group, and it almost went from "Come on, Cam" to "Let's go, Ripper." Because I didn't have my greatest on the last day, but it was so fun to be a part of.
And do you guys get the sense that other teams might be a little jealous that you guys have such a connection with the fans here that, let's face it, it's a pretty special thing that you guys have here, and other teams don't really have that, at least right now?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's our home country, so I'd expect us to have a heavy advantage when we come here. Australians love Australian sporting teams, and we are the Australian sporting team this week. And if it's the Australian fans watching cricket, they support their home teams and their local teams pretty hard. So for us to come here and be the local team, we're going to have all the support, and I'd expect it all. And they love it, all four of us golfers, and I think they support us like we support each other, and to have these four guys, or these three other guys, we're very close, and I think the teams will be a bit jealous of the camaraderie we have as well, individually, on our team.
I think Evan?
Question for Cam and all four of you, if you guys like. If last year's Australian Open felt like a bit of a missed opportunity, do you hope it goes back to Melbourne this year so you can experience sort of what you were hoping for last year?
Yes.
And why?
I mean, because they have some great golf courses that I think that people want to play. I think not only do we want to come down and play and obviously support our event, I think it lends itself to having a stronger field, having more guys come down here and play the Australian Open, and let it be the event that it once was. You look at the names on that trophy through the 80s and 90s, it's incredible. And it seems like somewhere that got lost, and I definitely want it to be the best event it can be and be the fifth major. It'd be unbelievable. But we've got to start somewhere, and hopefully this is the starting point.
Sweet. Just to follow up, this year is even firmer and faster than LIV Adelaide last year. Obviously, you did have an advantage last year. Do you feel like you have an even bigger advantage this year? And like, for the layman, what are the shots that you can play that maybe the other teams aren't as experienced in?
I think we definitely have an advantage. I've watched Leishy hit some 4-irons off the back foot around the greens, the practice rounds that a lot of people would struggle to hit. I mean, I think I see Cam hit short game shots every week that no one could hit, but particularly this week, he's hitting shots that just blow your mind. I look to my left with Jonesy as well, and he's right up there as well with his short game. He's hitting, aside from a couple of bunker shots, he's hitting some phenomenal short game shots around the greens that, you know, if you just haven't grown up around these surfaces, you don't think to play them like that. There's not a lot of grain in the grass, and obviously less this year, I think, with this time of year. You know, the February slot. I just think it's a massive advantage for us with, you know, if the course is going to play firm and fast like we hope it does. You know, we were asked before about 2 American winners. I think, you know, this year might lend itself to potentially an Australian winner if, you know, the course stays the way it's playing at the minute.
Okay, we got one over here, guys.
Just super curious what it feels like to walk onto the watering hole and have that pressure to emulate what happened in the first year in terms of a hole-in-one. Are you thinking about that, or are you just thinking about playing a sweet shot?
Well, we've all asked Leish, because I think he's birdied every party hole in existence every time. It's absolutely incredible. I don't know how he does it, but no, it is a really big adrenaline rush. You know, it's loud, and not only that, it kind of plays a bit weird because there's so many stands and trees around that hole that you don't really feel the wind, so you're kind of guessing on that. Yeah, it's so cool, but yeah, trying to get in Leish's head about how to play him better, because I've played him terribly.
I think it's one of the few times that you actually, no matter where the pin is, you're aiming straight at it, because yes, you want to try and make that one. I think normally you're thinking about consequences. You know, you're thinking, well, if I miss this a little right, you know, it's pretty screwed over there. I better aim a little bit left of the pin just to give myself a bit more wiggle room, a bit more margin for error. And that one, well, for me, I'm aiming straight at it every time. It's just fun. I think it's really cool. Yeah, try and get that big raw.
All right, guys, we've got some special guests that I think are going to come up and take a picture with you, and then we are going to shift gears for a Ripper GC Golf Australia announcement. So if everyone will hold tight, we'll bring the kids up. Come on, guys.